All right, let's get into what I saw from the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, and how we're going to kind of prepare for this. So, the first thing I noticed with the Jaguars and the Colts, aside from Trevor Lawrence running for his life, gosh, 49ers have to get the run game going because that was the first thing that the coach did. They established a run game. I mean, and it was like gaping holes. Now, we could say maybe because they have Jonathan Taylor. He's a really good running back. He ran for over 100 yards. He's been terrific this season. And all of those things are true, but I think the 49ers obviously have a really good run game and something that they want to continue to establish. Last week, the 49ers were able to run the ball 44 times. I didn't think they had a whole lot of success in the sense of yards per carry, but they just said, you know what, regardless of that, we're going to just run the rock. I think that they will have more success running. Now, will they be able to run the ball 44 times? Like, that's a crazy number. All right. I don't know about that. But 30 times, I can see the 49ers being like, all right, we're going to run the ball 30 times and have even more yards and a better yard per carry average than they did a week ago against the Rams. There were gaping holes everywhere. I thought there were a lot of areas that the 49ers will be able to take advantage of on the ground. The Bills just lost to the Jaguars. I think the Bills put up 6 points. I think a big part of that is I would assume that the Bills have no run game. That's been the biggest problem with the Buffalo Bills, right? No run game. And I'm gonna tell you why that's an issue. When you get in situations with Jaguars, just from what I noticed, if you get into like this drop back throwing game, I thought they were good against. I thought they were good. The pass rush was good. Now, not saying that they got there every play, but Josh Allen is a problem. The defensive end for the Jaguars, he's a problem. And they will get pressure on you as a quarterback. So you don't want to get in situations where you have to throw. You really want to run the ball to really set up the throw, maybe slow down that pass rush. You don't want to get into just this drop back passing game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was what I noticed early on. You want to run the ball and let that run game win you the game. I thought you could overpower them. I thought they were like just gaping lanes. When you look at Elijah Mitchell and what he is, I think there's clear areas of where he's going to be able to break off and rip off some big runs. I see that a lot. I think that's what the 49ers, if they're going to win this game, which we hope the 49ers do, they're going to have to run the ball. Now, again, I think everybody would agree that last week after the game or Monday night against the LA Rams, everybody say, hey, 49ers, that's their identity. Their identity is running the ball. You know, that's how the 49ers are going to win. They got their swagger back. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I would say that everything in that game went great for the 49ers and was ideal. I don't know if the 49ers can play that football every week, right? To where you get 2 takeaways on the opposing team's first 2 drives. 49ers ain't got takeaways all year. They take away the ball the least amount in the NFL. They haven't gotten takeaways, but they get 2 in the first 2 drives. And what does that do? Makes it to where, okay, and one of them was a pick 6. So they're up 14-0. What does that do when you're up 14-0? We can run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. We don't have to play with any high-level sense of urgency, right? Okay, 3rd and short, boom. Okay, there we go, Jimmy. 3rd and short, boom. There we go, Jimmy. Run the ball, kill clock, kill clock, kill clock. Ideally, of course, any team would want to do that every week. I don't think that that's going to be the case. The 49ers played better than they played all year. That was their most complete game. We've seen a drastic difference between how they play from week to week. More times than not, the 49ers have shown us to be a team that is a little bit more turnover prone. They shoot themselves in the foot a lot. They make a lot of mistakes throughout games. So I would assume that what we saw against the Rams was more of an anomaly, or, as opposed to this is who the 49ers are. This is the brand. I don't think that's who the 49ers are. And if they are, we'll see. They're going to have to show us again. But they did some things in that game that they have not done all year. One, they did not turn the ball over. 49ers have turned the ball over at an alarming rate. They're minus in the turnover. They turn the ball over. 2, they took the ball away. They don't do that, but they did that game. They took the ball away twice. Hasn't been something they've done all year. 3, they were great on 3rd down. They've been one of the worst teams on 3rd down. They've been one of the worst teams on 3rd down, and they were great on 3rd down that game. We're talking about 3 things that the 49ers have not been all year, and now they're going to be that for the rest of the season. I'm cautiously optimistic, right? Now, I hope they did. I think ideally Kyle Shanahan, he wants to run the ball anyway. So Get the run game going with the Jaguars, because I do feel like if you start to lean on the passing game with them, I think their pass rush can kind of, even if it doesn't like lead to a bunch of sacks, the pressure and everything closing in on Jimmy consistently, that could be something that kind of rattles him a little bit. Tired of the negativity. my guy Jason, me and Jason FaceTime last night, man. That's my dog right there. All right, here we go. So I was talking about the 49ers and kind of how they want to win. And again, they're going to have to run the ball because that's a glaring weakness in the Jaguars defense. I feel like, now I haven't looked at the numbers. I'm just watching the game. I'm just like, run lanes are there, left and right, being able to break off gashing, gaping runs. All right. So you definitely want to do that. All right. Now, you don't want to get caught up in the situation where you want to turn Jimmy Garoppolo into a drop back passer. I think ideally that's just not who Jimmy is, but also that's not what Kyle wants. That's not what Kyle thinks is going to be successful way for his team to win. Excuse me. Josh Allen active. I talked about him, how active he is in the passing game, like against the pass. I thought Josh Allen was, very disruptive while getting back there. He's somebody that's gonna flash. They're gonna send him on blitzes. They're gonna do different what do they call it, stunts with him and things like that. Josh Allen is active. You don't want him to take over the game. And I think that's what he did against Buffalo. I didn't watch the Buffalo game. I saw some highlights though as I was watching it and what he was doing. And he had like a sack strip. He had an interception. He had like a fumble recovery. Like he was going crazy against Buffalo. So you definitely want to try to limit him. The best way to limit him, run the ball. Don't put your quarterback in a situation where he has to drop back and throw. All right. And my last note for the 49ers offense, again, 49ers, get the run game going. Because that pass rush for Jacksonville is pretty solid. Like, and again, I don't think it led to a bunch of sacks, but just the pressure that the quarterback was consistently under. That was something that it was you could see it. They got 3 running backs. All right, I think we all know they got Carlos Hyde. And it was interesting seeing Carlos Hyde be the first running back. He got the start. He got the first carry. I was like, okay, hard. Robinson must be out. No, Robinson was playing. And Robinson was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. But they got 3 running backs. All right, you got Carlos Hyde. I thought he was going to be, I thought he was like a spellback or something like that. They got Robinson. Robinson was a 1,000-yard runner, and he runs well. He's a 1,000-yard rusher just a year ago. And then they have the X factor. They got the X factor. This guy Agnew, who claims to be the fastest player on the Jacksonville football team. I ain't going to say Jaguar, whatever. He's the fastest Jacksonville Jag. All right, Agnew. And when you watch how they utilize him, I saw them give him the rock on jet sweep. All right, and just, he's flying. I saw them just hand the rock to him. He got out of there on it was a long run, 60, 70-yard touchdown run. He's fast, and he will outrun your defense. The other thing I saw with Agnew, they will utilize him in the passing game. I talked about that throw that Trevor Lawrence, man. Let me see if I can show y'all. It was early in the game. Hold on. I'm going to share this with y'all. There we go. This should be the play right here. So, he has to drop back. Look, get it out. Look at this throw. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, man. That was a great play. Great play by the DB. But that just kind of shows you, Agnew, I feel like they're going to try to use him in a bunch of different ways. And he is someone who you definitely don't want to have that big play. I saw them throw the ball downfield to him. I saw them use him on jet sweep. Obviously, like I said, he had the big run. Agnew, I think he's the X factor for the team. Now, another thing they did, they used Shenault like Debo. They put Shenault in the backfield and just handed the ball off to him like he was a running back. So he definitely is a guy who Shenault, they're going to try to figure him out. So I talked about 3 running backs that they have: Carlos Hyde, Robinson, Agnew being the X factor. All right. And he's the speedy guy, and he's the game breaker, and he broke off a big run. And maybe I'll go to the big run that he had. But he broke off a big run, so you got to be worried about that with him. But yeah, you don't want to let him go. And then Shenault, they're going to look to potentially get the ball into Chenault's hands any way possible. Obviously, like, Shenault, he's a guy who is more like a Debo Samuel type guy, and they're going to, try to figure out ways to get the ball in his hand any way possible. All right, here we go. All right, So you got shotgun to the right. Now just watch the speed. Gone. And when you're that fast, you just make it look really easy. You make it look really easy. So again, that's the X factor right there. That's the X factor right there. So yeah, Agnew, Graham, big speed. But yeah, I mean, obviously this game for the 49ers is a very winnable game. It is the 49ers that should win if they are who we think they are. Now, again, I just don't know who the 49ers are. And maybe you guys could take me. So y'all already know.